Good evening, friends. Uh, Thank you for joining me every evening to follow what's happening in India and abroad. And thank you for giving me your useful comments and suggestions. If you believe in the channel, do share it with your friends and spread the message. Our only mission is to bring you the truth and both sides of the story. Thank you for your support. And Jaydev will also be joining us for this session. I'm just waiting for him to join me. So, welcome, Jaydev.
Good evening to all the viewers.
Yeah. Okay. So, friends, today we are talking about the kind of content that's available on OTT platforms and the kind of, repercussions the series have. I'd like to tell you about an incident that a singer called Duffy quoted last month when she was, releasing her album titled "River in the Sky," which she describes as a deeply personal and emotive piano-driven song. She spoke about a horrendous ordeal she had kept secret for years. Duffy, who famously vanished from the public eye, later to reveal it was because of a horrific rape, and she took the brave step of sharing the new music by sending Joe Wiley an only radio track called Something Beautiful in March. Now, Duffy, the singer, wrote an open letter to the Netflix's top man, Reed Hastings, asking Netflix to take down the controversial Polish film 365 Days. Now, which movie is this? Well, the moment you open Netflix, it's right there on your face. And it's 80% sex. Now, what she says is it glamorizes rape and it is irresponsible of the network to show these kind of films. And that when this happens, in reality, the victim can never recover from it. She first spoke about the horrific incident in February before sharing an essay in April, revealing how she was drugged on her birthday, abducted and taken abroad, raped and kept captive in her own home. She has said the trauma had stolen thousands of days from her life, adding that she had come to the realization that the very thing that hurts me will become the very thing that heals me. I faced a deeply inhumane experience. Only humanity can heal that, she said. In a post caption talk, she wrote, "This evening, I can't sleep. I have the comfort of my bed and the health of all my family to take shelter in, but many do not." She's talking about the victims. "I was lucky to come away with my life, but far too many have not been so lucky," she wrote. "And now I have to witness these tragedies, and my tragedy eroticized and demeaned." Duffy called on Netflix and viewers of the film to learn more about human trafficking and to pledge to make a difference ahead of the World Day Against Trafficking in Persons on July 30th. So, what did Netflix do? Well, Netflix responded saying that it will continue to stream the Polish film 365 Days amid calls for its withdrawal by Duffy. She's a British singer who said it glamorized the brutal reality of sex trafficking, kidnapping, and rape, and that members can choose what they do, and they do not want to what they do not want to watch. They can, ignore it, and they can set a maturity filter at a profile level and remove specific titles to protect from content they feel is too mature. Duffy's new song discusses sorrow and the desire to be unburdened. She sings, "As I walk this life, doubt on my mind, I pray to fly burden free." Now, coming back home in India, just a few days back, while chatting with my mother, usually I chat with her in the morning when I'm free, I was taken aback to hear her say something that I was pondering about for quite some time. She said, "I can't open Netflix films or series in front of anyone because it starts and ends with explicit sex. It's so embarrassing. The films have less content and more sex," she said. People will tell you then, there are always people who have the opposite view. People will tell you, "So watch it alone." But when it's so easily accessible, Any child or teenager can watch it with ease and allow it to pollute their young minds. With more and more parents becoming working parents and having very less time with their children, they are left at home, alone, and it's very easy for them to access these movies. Some reasonable control must be exercised on the display of such adult contents. I did a search for a movie of my choice. Every film that Netflix suggested was prompting me to watch was started with 365 Days and movies like Cuties, remember, which is about 11-year-old girls and is rated severe under the sex and nudity category on IMDb. It's disgusting when we want to watch good, wholesome movies. Now, when you have such movies, which are not only pornography, but also which attract pedophiles. Now, my question to you, viewers, I will give you open the line after this session. Join me for an interactive session where you express your views. So I want you to talk about it because a lot of the parents are worried about the kind of content they're getting from abroad and from India, from certain producers who are making, so much money, corrupting our youth. Yes, Jerry.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I would like to add that some of the views, some of the movies are so like they have such a negative plot, and it's like someone killing someone or someone raping. So why does it have to be such a negative plot? It can be something positive also. So yeah, regarding the Netflix was mainly an OTT platform. Nowadays, you have other OTT platforms like MX Player, Woot, Disney Hotstar, Amazon Prime, Alt Balaji, Z5. They're providing all these services. So in the coming days, many companies are trying to venture into this platform. The reason for OTT being popular is that general audience can watch any program at their convenient time. But the biggest worry is that the OTT web series is full of a lot of adult pornographic scenes, violence, and vulgar language use. So whoever watches
Absolutely.
these scenes will
There's so much
definitely
of
have a
violence.
bad impact.
Yeah, Jaydev, there's so much of violence that usually you see so much of blood all around. It makes you feel,
Yes,
puke.
absolutely. So like whoever watches these scenes, they'll have a definitely negative impact on their mind, especially teenagers, who they're just sort of shaping their opinions at that particular age. So Ashram, Masram, Charam Sukh, all these series are like full of a lot of adult scenes and use of vulgar language. So producer of these web series, they do not refrain from showing anything just for financial gain. So supporters of OTT say that in order to make the story more original, they display sexual intimacy, use of vulgar language, display of violence, which is sort of essential to pull the viewer. But to what extent is the main question? Like, is it necessary to display adult scenes, use of vulgar language, violence in the name of originality? So those who support display of such a scene on OTT web series also say that web series are not to be seen with family. So everyone sees it alone in their mobile. For example, Ekta Kapoor's Alt Balaji, they produce erotic web series as well as adult web series like Gandhi Bath. In fact, they created 5 seasons for Gandhi Bath. Gandhi Bath season 5 is supposedly bolder and has a lot of adult scenes than ever. So Ragini, MMS Returns, Triple X, Uncensored section are some more. So she is no different from like sort of Raj Gunda, like who was doing the same, and like right now he there's a case against him. So he clearly said that while he was caught, other people who do it are sort of like immune to arrest. So looks like the entertainment industry is all about mind control, destruction of the moral health to humanity seems their only purpose. So 80% of the filth makes it a sick platform. They weaponize sex to gain control of the human mind. Remove sex, and that this wicked industry will collapse overnight. So look at Ekta Kapoor series. How is it sort of different from the normal porn? Like they call it fashionably erotica because they don't show the actors private parts or something. So that's how Gyana Vashisht got bold after Gandhi Bhatt to become a producer in Raj Kundar's sort of adult series. So the Indian government made a lot of noise about censoring content, but till today we have not seen any of that happening. If a small country like UAE can ban porn, so why can't India flex its muscles? So to this, I would like to add, like like India has banned porn websites. So like, why not censor some of these adult content which you may
No,
accidentally
Jaydev.
watch? Your,
See, Jaydev,
yeah,
porn is still available very easily on mobiles. So it's not banned in India. So that is a step that they have to take very strictly.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So now networks like Netflix flaunt such series with aplomb. So if you didn't know, there are movies on Netflix that are really sort of sexually graphic or erotic, and they're like so. This has become the biggest worry for a lot of Indian parents, especially who are working and they leave their children alone at home. So the children are exposed to all these OTT web series, which are full of all these adult scenes, vulgar language, etc. So whoever watches these scenes will definitely have a bad impact on their mind,
Yeah.
especially children and teenagers. So supporters of OTT say that in order to make the story more original, they display all this, sexual content, vulgar language, etc. So yeah, that is like, my take. It's like, why do you sort of at the expense of pulling in viewers, you use vulgar language, or sort of make a fun of Hindu religion. That's one more point. Like I've seen many films, make fun of Hindu traditions or something. So there has to be some sort of censorship for this kind of content, in my opinion.
Yeah. In fact, see here, Jaydev, I'd like to tell you. See, there was a movie in which Kajol was acting. Now, Kajol comes as very sort of a fashionable woman, and in that movie, there are about around 20 to 30 times when she uses four-lettered words, and when she's wearing a sari and that comes out, it shows, the awkwardness of the Indian producers trying to bring in language that is often used in Hollywood. So it's just it shows that they're doing it purposely, and to corrupt people. Now, if why can't youngsters indulge in talk without having to use four-lettered words? So are they teaching us that, see, it's fashionable to use four-lettered words, so please use it? So this is a kind of an example that they're trying to set.
And
So
one more point I would like to
yeah,
add is
yeah,
like smoking. Like a lot of these actors consider smoking as very stylish. So like whenever there's a scene where an actor smokes, so there's a disclaimer which comes down that smoking is injurious to health.
yeah.
So for this, like there's some sort of disclaimer. But when like such vulgar language is being said by the actor, they don't have any such disclaimer also.
Yeah, in fact, Monica
Yeah,
makes a very, very relevant point. She says,
yeah,
in fact, some psychiatrists were saying that watching too much Netflix is taking a toll on people's mental health. It's so correct, that it is. We think that it is not affecting people, but it is affecting people. It's very important. It's just like she says, like binge watching, is can also induce a social isolation. So okay, let me go to the next point. So, friends, what makes these OTT platforms so popular? One thing we must realize is that with the coming of Corona, people stopped going to the cinema halls, and started, they were inside houses, isolated within their homes. It is under these circumstances that OTT became popular. Now, in the coming days, it will become even more popular. And while movie and cable TV, they are prohibited from showing adult content. No teenager could watch an adult movie on cinema hall and cable TV. But now, such sexual contents are easily available on mobile. The teenagers see these sexual contents without any restriction. If there is no control on the display of such sexual content, violence and abusive languages on OTT, then the mind of the coming young generation will be corrupted with feelings of sex and violence all the time. Now, the time has come. Here, what I'd like to say, Jaydev, is that, when before Nirbhaya was raped, it was very clear, once the investigation came out, it was very clear that the 4 or 5 people who had gang raped Nirbhaya, they had all emerged from a session of watching porn and drinking and taking drugs. So they were completely off their senses. And what they had seen on screen is what they wanted to do in reality. And Nirbhaya became a victim of that.
Yeah, sadly, yes.
So to say that these movies do not affect, the real life is absolutely absurd. Okay, going back to the fact, now the time has come for the government of India to formulate some laws and regulations for the material that they show on the OTT platform. Otherwise, it will have a very harmful effect on the development of the character of the younger generation. The entertainment industry in India is handled by the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, which now comes under a very young and inexperienced minister who is, I'm very sorry to say that, very starstruck. I'm talking about Anurag Thakur, who seems to be very happy in the presence of Bollywood actors. Now, that's not a problem. The problem is, how experienced is he in handling this issue? Every film before releasing for the public is censored and certified by the concerned authorities. But there is no such board or authority for censoring the content available on the web. And that is the biggest issue of recent times. It is also highly debatable. Several times, people have complained about the explicit and bold content of web series. Violence, sex, and nudity have become so common in the web shows. The people are now questioning whether all this is required or not. Yes, Jaydev, so what comes next after that?
Yeah, exactly. So you have, the liberals on the other hand, who feel it's okay to have such bold content. They feel that in some instances, like sexually explicit scenes of violence are the need of the storyline. So we have seen enough movies that, don't have sex, but, recently, like there's a lot of use of sex scenes, adult scenes, and violence, etc. Removing such scenes might confuse the viewers, according to them, and the story will not be portrayed as it is written. The other section of the society believes that having nudity, sex, and violence in a web series is affecting Indian values. So, unlike Western countries, Indians are not that open to intimate scenes and the violence involved shown in web shows. This makes it uncomfortable to watch these shows with the family. You have to consciously choose what you can watch with your family and what not. Netflix's first and immensely popular Hindi web series, Sacred Games, was questioned for its content soon after its release. This raised the question of whether the online content requires censorship or not. After having a lot of debate, Amazon Prime decided to self-censor its content. Now the scenes, including nudity, are blurred out. Similarly, other video on-demand platforms are also planning to do the same. So the Bombay High Court, in one of its hearings last year, has asked the concerned ministries to make arrangements for pre-screening of the web series. It means that before the release of the web series on online streaming platforms, they will be watched by officials appointed by the ministry. The trailers and online advertisements of the same will also be reviewed. So yeah, this is what's happening recently.
Yeah, I'd like to just read out a comment by Pooja Nelly before I go on, because it's very interesting. She says, in the film Chehre, starring Meen Hashmi and Imran Hashmi, she says, Meen Hashmi and Amitabh, it's shown that a billionaire was injected potassium supplement injection in his toe and he dies of cardiac arrest and shown as a natural death. Now, Pooja, in today's circumstance, it comes across as very ironic, something that we've been talking about. So we'll discuss this later on in the show. Very well pointed out. I just love the way you all comment, because the kind of a truth that you bring out is amazing. Meanwhile, I'll just continue with this and then we can discuss this towards the end. Pooja, could you raise it again? Now, friends, I'd like to mention some of the recent controversies here. As soon as the web series became a trend, many controversies came up related to them. Whether we talk about Sacred Games or the Patal Lok, which is famous Anushka Sharma's series. They remained in use for both good and bad reasons. Hasmukh on Netflix was also very controversial. It was even removed from the platform for some time. Amazon's Prime Patal Lok was questioned for its dialogues in some scenes, and some other scenes. Ekta Kapoor was under scrutiny and FIRs lodged against her for a show XXX Uncensored Season 2. She was accused of demeaning and disrespecting the army in one of its episodes. As a result, the scene was removed, and she also made a public apology. That politicians protect these people is easy to understand, as Raj Kundra was arrested, but this lady escaped jail. This is not the first time when something of this sort happens. It has happened every time when somebody tries to show something out of the league. But the real issue is there are times when such bold language and scenes are not required. The story can be completed without those scenes. And that's where the question of censorship arises. I'll now open the line for you to join and give your opinions as well, friends. Let us make it an interactive session. So please give me a few minutes and I'll just open the line so that you can join me. So that's the link, friends, that you can join. So please join us and we can discuss this further. Very interesting comments coming again. So again, going back to the fact what Pooja and Ellie said, it's a very recent, Chehre is a very recent release starring Riya, Imran and Amitabh, wherein a billionaire has a young wife and the wife honey traps Imran, who is her husband's subordinate employee. And I wish, Pooja, you'll also join us. Welcome, Monica.
Hello, hi, Meenaji. Hi,
Welcome,
Jay,
always.
Hi. Sorry, I'm just swamped right now. So my, my pen is in my hair and everything. Yeah.
The comments you're making are very, very, very relevant. Yeah, to what we're
ma'am.
discussing.
And also, I wanted to talk, about this Netflix and you know the kind of films that they have, like this movie, A Suitable Boy, like that was that could have been skipped, you know, but for some reason they chose to launch it, and I don't know why. It has hurt so many religious sentiments, there's a scene whereby the boy and the girl, they're kissing inside the temple. Like, look, I'm not saying that it's wrong. Like, for me, I just feel like it's a couple. But when we know that in India, the youth tends to follow whatever is is on screen. So what is the reason to do that? Like, like, why are you trying to misguide them?
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So there are things that we really need to guide the youth also, like what to watch and what to not, like, because if they are so heavily influenced by what they're saying on screen, I mean, what's the guarantee that, the next time if there's a rape scene, they may just take it in and, be like, okay, it was happening on screen, it looks fun, so let us also try, so they have to be responsible with what they put there if they know that their youth is, so easily swayed,
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Also, see, Monica and Jaideep, see, there was an English movie which I thought was a very nice, simple, romantic movie, and I just wanted to watch it because sometimes you want to watch a movie without allowing your brain to function, just to relax.
Yes.
And here again, in this kind of movie, they just show you scenes like how they lose their virginity, and it's not a few seconds. It just goes on and on, which means They're indirectly telling the
Yeah.
people who are watching, now you better
Mhm.
see what all is happening and you can do whatever, we're doing.
Yeah,
That sort
like
of
this
thing.
is in trend, you know.
Yes.
See, you can't compare with the West because in the West, I mean, it's like people treat films like films. It's not
Yes.
something you really live, you know. But in
Yes.
India, they live it, they believe in it. So
Yeah.
for them, their stars are like God, you know. So you
Yes.
can't do that. You have to be
Yes.
very responsible with what you show, you
Yeah.
know. Yeah. So I mean, there are things that they could avoid. If they
Yeah.
can, then that's good. Otherwise, more and more youth will be going on the wrong path, and then we have more crimes. You know?
Yeah. Also,
Yeah.
see, another thing, what I've noticed, I think Jaidev can also speak more about that, is about the games. See, you have these
Oh yeah.
games. Yes.
Yes.
And they
Yes.
are also mimicking this. So, Jaidev,
Ah,
you have a
right.
lot of experience in that field. Can you tell us
Sorry,
something about that? The games
Yeah.
that you play, the games that you play, have
Mhm.
content. So, could you speak about that content also? Is it similar to what we see on OTT platforms?
yeah, like some of the video
PlayStation.
games that children play, they
Mhm.
have a lot of plot lines which, like has symbols of, Illuminati indirectly.
Right.
So that's what
Yes.
I
Yeah.
found when I researched,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
actually. Yeah.
So
So,
even when it comes to games, we have to be like really careful with what we
Exactly.
allow
absolutely.
them to play. Yeah. See,
Yeah.
so it's
Apart
not
from, of
safe.
course, the addiction level, like it should not interfere with their studies or whatever their,
Yeah.
career or whatever.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In fact, what Jyoti is saying is that the issue is Western sexual content is fine if you have open dating. In the Indian society,
Mhm.
they see these romances, but no dating, you know? So,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's the
Also,
biggest
Lakshmi,
problem.
Lakshmi says that OTT platforms reaches youth faster. These people use it to set narratives. Unfortunately, Government of India doesn't impose any strict actions on these people. With money in hand, they
Mm,
are above law. Absolutely. You know,
Well,
absolutely.
yeah,
And
sorry, I would
it's
like
very
to.
concerning. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah, I would like to make one observation.
Yeah.
Before like Karan Johar, he released Gunjan Saxena.
yes,
So
Right.
that was a
Yes.
controversial film, right? So like it sort of
Right.
made fun of the army people, right?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
And then after
The Air
that,
Force. Yeah.
yeah, and then after that, yeah, the Air Force, correct. So after
Yeah.
that, he released Sher Shah recently, right?
Hmm.
So
yes,
in that, he has played it very safe. He has not made fun
Yeah.
of any.
He made up for what he lost there.
Exactly.
So, yeah. But just imagine, because once you launch a film, it's like you have already put a thought there, in their minds that
yes,
see we can make fun of the Air Force, we can do that. So it's already gone in their minds.
yes,
So and then you try to make another film to overcompensate that, but it doesn't really work in that way.
Absolutely.
Our minds are very quick and very smart to absorb what we want to absorb. So yeah.
Another interesting comment from Pooja Nelly. She says, Shukla was honey trapped. Very clearly, if you watch BB13, from the
From the
start,
start.
she was there in the show for him, and we were surprised in 2018 itself as to why she was after that older guy. Okay,
Absolutely.
so yeah. And another
Yeah.
very interesting point by 1234. Everyone is getting caught, and of course, they were getting out on bail later. But how come Ekta Kapoor is not under their radar and never gets caught for any of her shows or other activities? I'm sure 1234, you're aware what are the connections that she has.
She has some very strong links.
Yes.
Yeah, she gets
Athira
away.
says, Athira says, Sridevi's cardiac arrest is also not a natural one. It's artificial, made by injecting snake poison.
Snake's
Absolutely.
poison. My God.
Absolutely. Pooja,
And to
vulgar
think that
OTT. Yeah,
these people
yeah.
have been getting away with that for years now, isn't
Yes,
it?
yes. Yeah.
For years and years.
Pooja continues, vulgar OTT only targets young, naive adolescents and adults aged 12 to 22 years. Absolutely. See, this is what is troubling us, Pooja. The fact that,
Hmm.
see, they are at home unsupervised and
Right.
they don't know. They don't know. See, you hear a lot of cases where these youngsters get so excited and they go out, and then what happens? A young,
Yeah,
helpless girl gets
exactly.
attacked. You know,
They
I
dress
don't
like
think
the
it's just in
stars, they
movies.
move like the
Yes,
stars, like
yes,
it's so scary. Like
yeah,
you have to be really responsible with what you put there because they are going to follow that.
yes, yes.
So yeah, yeah.
And again, back to what the same thing in BB, Big Boss. As Sushant says, in one of the seasons, she confessed that she's trying to patao him for 3 months in BB. Now,
Big
friends who don't
boss.
understand what patao means, to trap him, or
Yeah,
to
to woo him.
entice him,
Yeah,
yeah, woo him,
yeah,
yes. So, thank you.
yeah.
Devanushi, agree with Pooja. Absolutely. So very interesting comments coming in. Runa, just joined, catching up.
Catching up.
Siddharth's death doesn't look normal. Yes, I mentioned earlier. Queen of soft porn is Ekta. Why is she roaming scot-free? In fact, Runa, see, the fact is that Raj Kundra and Gehenna also, the people
Mhm,
deeply involved in this, said that, see,
mhm.
why are the others not being caught? You see,
Absolutely. Yeah.
the law should be uniform. If
Mhm.
they are caught, also people who are spreading this kind of the soft porn or erotica or whatever it's called,
Yeah,
they
like
should
I'm
also be
sure there
caught.
were more people involved than them,
Yeah,
like, but somehow they became the scapegoat, I guess,
not
for
scapegoat.
whatever that went on. Yeah.
Monica, see, those who enjoy political,
Yeah.
what you call patronage, you know,
Mhm.
they escape.
Yeah.
They are never caught.
Yeah.
They get away with a simple apology. You
Mhm.
look at her; she is never scared. In fact, she looks down
Yeah.
upon her actors and actresses as though she's a queen. I mean, how
Yeah.
much money are you going to amass making porn films and corrupting people?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And Karthik says, because cinema halls are closed, the cabal is busy trying to make as much money from OTT as possible. Karthik, you're right,
Spot
100%.
on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mickey,
Yeah.
as parents, that's why it's
That's-
important to be on top of things with our children.
Oh,
Absolutely. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is
I have
KB?
a
I think they're missing her.
4-year-old, but I
KB.
always sit with her and watch everything, like whatever she's watching, because I'm so scared that what is she going to watch? And after I read about that whole
Yeah.
Illuminati thing, I got so scared. I'm like, okay, not this cartoon, not this cartoon. It's just like, Mom, what are we watching? You keep changing the channel.
No, it's very important to
I don't find any
supervise.
clean ones.
Yeah. Athena says, I personally have been affected by these people whenever I went through issues since my teens. Okay. So that's
Okay,
really, yeah, sad.
that's
As for
very sad.
Sushant, yeah, Deepika was also depressed. Many other actors were depressed, stressed, but they don't die or commit suicide. Yes, in fact, here's as Sushant. I think Jaydev has something to say because he's been tweeting about it, about people, doing so much of gym work. You were tweeting something regarding that, wasn't it?
Uh, yeah, I mean, like all these so-called superstars, they take so many, protein supplements. They take, a lot of bodybuilding supplements and also, what do you say, steroids. So how come they're not getting any heart attack? That's my
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Here, okay. Here, Nanda says the way Mumbai police managed Siddharth Shukla body, I doubt they killed him like Jia or SSR because they never showed his face to media or fans. Now, see here again, friends. What I'd like to say is what we are reading and what we are hearing is what we report to you. Nothing is sort of
Mhm.
cooked up. Okay. So now the latest report that we read or the tweet that we heard is that Siddharth's family have thanked everybody, including the Mumbai police,
Mhm.
for helping them in every which way. Okay. Now,
Mhm.
I'm not going to comment on that, but what I'd like to
Okay.
say is that
Mhm.
a lot of the times, out of fear, we may say
Mm.
things which are supposed to be, or scripted. Okay.
Yes,
Now we don't know
absolutely.
what is this thing because when I read about the fact that Trimuke was at
Mhm.
the Cooper Hospital, we all know very well
Mm.
who is Trimuke.
Mhm.
Trimuke was a police officer who Ria used to run to every time the NCB used to question her.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Remember this
what
guy?
was
Yeah.
he? Yeah, what was he doing at Cooper
Mhm.
Hospital? Okay,
Mhm.
these are all doubts that we're putting, friends, and you're all very intelligent. Put the pieces together. Don't be frightened by all these trolls. What you
Mhm.
have to expose, please expose, because that's the only way we can reach out to the truth.
But ma'am, I have a question. Like for Siddharth's case, right?
Yeah.
Like, isn't it a bit weird that his mom actually, I mean, when he was complaining of having like chest pains and stuff, like why was his mom telling him to go back to sleep? I mean, not okay. I'm not trying to raise doubts on their family at all,
So
at
here
all.
again,
Okay,
Monica.
I just want
Yeah,
to know.
I understand.
Yeah,
I understand, Monica. See what you're
yeah,
saying.
yeah,
Now you read
yeah.
you read one of the news bits, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So the news told you that mother did like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's a lot of contradicting news saying that
Mm-hmm.
the mother was not there. The mother lives in the eighth floor, according to what KB was saying last time. She lives in the eighth floor. Okay.
Oh,
At that
is
time,
that
yeah,
so?
at that time,
Okay.
that's what she read in a news. Okay, and it was
Okay.
that
Okay.
this girl was with him when he laid his head on her lap and died at
Mm-hmm.
3:30. Okay.
Oh,
Now, yeah. So
okay.
we don't know. There's so much of news coming. I don't know. They nobody
Right.
question anybody. They just straight away
Okay.
say that it is
Okay.
a heart attack. You know, and
Mm.
they think that people will just keep quiet. But let me tell you, this is like a brimming volcano. A lot of things are going to be
Mm.
exposed very soon. You know, and
Absolutely.
to tell you the truth, Monica, and I think Gujan has also joined us. To tell you the
Oh,
truth,
okay.
I
Hmm.
heard what you call Jaydeep. We listen to a lady who can see, who can talk with mediums and get through to the dead bodies, dead souls. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I believe in
Crystal,
such
right?
things. Yeah, Crystal,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she said some very strange things. She said that he was drugged.
Mm.
Okay, so whether we
Mm.
believe it or not, it might be interesting for
Yeah.
you friends to just watch a session and find out,
Right.
because you don't need to believe it. You don't need to believe even our channel, but it's always
Hmm.
better to see everything and
Right.
only take what you believe in. You're all mature people,
Correct.
right? So it's very
Yes.
important that you believe what your intelligence and experience tells you.
What
So
resonates with
yeah,
you? Yeah.
yeah, and it's
Yeah.
my suggestion,
Absolutely.
just watch it. So it might be interesting for you. Okay, let me just add
Sure.
Gunjan. Gunjan, please come in. Yeah, Gunjan,
Hi,
welcome.
Minaji. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, very clearly. Please tell us.
Yeah. I just
Yes,
joined before I talk about Siddharth Shukla and these people because I want to. I personally have been as a kid. I have negatively. I come from a very toxic family,
yes.
very disoriented family. So I have
Okay.
personally negatively got affected to even now when I go through breakup or anything, these movies have affected me very negatively,
Okay. Okay.
going to smoking or harming yourself. So I feel that
Yes.
these particular movies affect you when you go through, because we see when there are breakups, okay, you can sleep around with any other guy to hurt yourself, to do anything like these kind of things. So I feel that as a teenager, as a child, these movies really affected me
Yeah.
negatively. Plus the reason was there was violence at my home, so I could not confide in my
Yeah.
family. So the only thing I got was, oh, in this movie this actress smoked, so her problem got solved.
Yeah.
So I feel that these people have to understand that what they are causing to our kids.
Yes.
I could not even now it is very difficult, so I want the future generation, being a teacher, I feel the future generation needs to idolize people like Sushant Singh Rajput, not such people. And it does affect a lot when you come from a disturbed family. You go and trust outside,
Yes.
you will be backstabbed there. And you, when you see these movies now, oh, that
Yeah.
lady smoked and her problem got solved. So the first time I smoked was because I
Yes.
was going through a breakup. I feel that, oh, that girl smoked, that means smoking is a solution, or you drink, it's a solution.
Yes.
So these people have to understand
Absolutely.
what what they're causing violence in our children, even these movie violence. So I feel that we need to make sure that the future generation doesn't see all this, that what we have seen. They don't have to go and
Yeah.
idolize that, okay, this is what these are the actors and these are the one we have to idolize. Yes,
Yes.
I feel there's lots of foul play in Siddharth Shukla's case, and there are lots of things that are very strange, and people don't want us to talk about it. They are saying that SSRians should leave Sidnas alone.
Yeah.
So I feel that being fighting for Sushant Singh Rajput, he's made us realize that any wrong
Yeah,
that is happening
exactly.
should be talked about.
Gunjan,
We
So
should not
we
be
don't
like
Gunjan,
want you
cherry
to tell
yeah,
picking
us what we have to do.
cases.
I
yeah.
never used
Yeah,
to.
In fact,
Exactly.
yeah,
Gunjan, I'd like to tell you, see, there are many things, see, it's a democracy,
Yeah.
okay? And Twitter is
yeah.
also a democratic this thing, so where we can express our opinion. Now, we can speak about anything, right? Now, when
Yeah.
we all express our doubts, I got a million attacks today,
Oh,
okay? And
oh my
it
God.
doesn't bother me at all
Yeah.
because, see, what we have to say, we have to say. Now, just
Mhm.
because they are trying to tell us that because SSR died,
Mhm.
and Ria was the reason, don't make everything like that. Now, you're not my grandmother to tell me what to do. Okay,
Exactly.
so let me think on my own
Yeah.
and let me decide.
Exactly.
Okay, for myself, what to think.
I
Okay,
mean, you
you're
have
not
your
going
own
to,
mind,
yeah, yeah, you're
right?
not the Illuminati where you are a mushroom and I'm a snake,
This is not a
right?
cult.
Yeah, Monica, your thoughts.
Oh,
No, they
yeah,
have
I
that
mean, like what?
certificate that they give us.
Yeah,
Neetaji, that's the certificate they give us. This is a fake SSRian. This is a genuine SSRian. You are not supposed to
yeah.
say this to
And they're
Sidnas.
so weird
Okay,
about
there
it.
are
Like
lots of foul play. We can
you
very
can't
strange
talk
things
about
happening.
anything
Big
other
body.
than what how yeah. You just have to agree with them
Yeah.
on like everything.
And see, again, here, both of you, Gunjan, Monica, and Jaydeep, see, what I want to
Yeah.
tell all of you is that, see, these are not people, these are trolls, okay? And
Absolutely.
these are paid PR, which is done by a whole
Yeah.
cabal that comes under these producers of Big Boss, okay, and all these movies and these TV series. So they're all paid a hefty sum to come
Yes.
behind you. And if you're
Right.
intelligent enough, you just go to their, their handle, and you'll see that they have 0 followers. Okay, so please
Yeah.
use your intelligence and block these people. They're not important
Yeah.
at
And do
all.
you know, ma'am, the recent
Yes.
silent protest that we did? Like,
Yeah.
I got I put up that photo of myself, right, with that
Yes.
bot
Yes.
thing, and
Yes.
I got trolled on that as well. But I had to block a couple of people. They were trolling on that, saying that,
Yeah.
oh, what is this going to achieve? What are you
Yeah,
trying to
I like
change?
why
Yeah.
there are people out there,
What?
they're like not even interested in the protest. They're
What's
like,
wrong with them,
oh,
Yes.
man?
this person had gone to that channel. Yeah, seriously, it's like I feel like
You
laughing at
know,
such
you
people.
won't
That
believe
why
it. See, I was,
we are
Yeah.
yeah,
SSRians and
I was
that
talking, Gunjan. Yeah, Gunjan.
Yeah.
I was talking about, honey traps. Now,
Mhm.
you won't believe it. They're telling me my whole family does honey traps.
Oh, come on.
So
Get
I was,
alive.
I was like,
Seriously.
like laughing my heart out, thinking that what are
Yeah.
these? What? At least when you give messages, use your intelligence. I mean, you can't be
Yeah.
so stupid that you'll talk like this.
seriously.
Even a KG kid will have more brains than
It's
this.
disappointing, you know.
It's so crazy,
Oh God.
and they think that see, just by putting a
No,
picture
I
of the
ask
couple,
for
they become
forgiveness.
fans.
Such people ko na matlab.
Gunjan,
Uh,
So, like,
I think
Gunjan,
there
KB
are
is
anything?
trying to join
because
also.
Yeah,
Meena ji, according
I've given her the link. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Gunjan.
Sorry.
Yeah,
so I feel that the people we don't identify they give us sweeping statement. Oh, she plays a victim card, or
yes,
she's a fake SSRian, or she's
yes,
here for money, or these
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
narratives come up.
yeah,
Till the time
Yeah.
you are with them, in sync with them, you are a very nice SSRian. The
yes,
moment you
yeah.
don't identify
Yeah.
their ideologies, you become this fake SSRian. They'll start
That's so
trolling. Oh,
immature.
Sidnas, you
I
should
mean,
come
come
and bash
on.
this particular person. Like, and
Uh,
Yeah,
like
like we are all different. Like we all have our own views. It doesn't mean like,
yeah,
Exactly.
I've seen that.
one is true and one is fake.
and Monica and Gunjan, see, the funniest thing was, where these people told me, telling, other
Mm.
SSRians that, okay, KB is also joined. Let me add her.
Oh, sure.
Welcome, KB.
Hi,
Hello,
KB.
hello
Welcome, Katie.
everyone. Good
Yeah.
evening to
So, yeah,
everybody.
the
Our
funniest
Iron Lady
thing,
is back.
the funniest thing was today, the Sid Nas people complaining to the SSRians, saying that, see, here's this lady called Meena who's trying to, poison, the thing. So,
come on.
and then you have a lot of SSRians saying, okay, let's attack her. Now, see, whether you attack or not, this, Twitter has, freedom for everybody to say what they want.
Absolutely.
Now, if you go too strong on protecting people, people may doubt what's wrong. Now,
Yeah.
if everybody's saying it's a natural death, okay, it's a natural death. Why are you getting carried out? Okay, if somebody doubts it, let them think over what's happening and come to their own solution. They don't need your advice.
Absolutely. I mean,
Yes,
the beauty
baby.
of this world
Welcome.
is that we are all different, Just
Yes,
imagine a day where we wake up and we're all the same. Oh my God.
Yeah,
That's horrifying.
absolutely.
I mean, I would
Welcome,
like to add
baby.
one point,
Yeah.
Meena.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, Siddharth is a public figure, right?
Yeah.
So, like, what's wrong if the public asks questions? Like, I don't understand. Like, we pay you for watching Big Boss by, subscribing to your OTT platform and watching Big Boss. It's our money, right?
Yeah.
So we can't ask questions. What logic is that?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, KB?
can I speak?
Yes.
Can I
yes.
speak?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, KB.
okay. Har Har Mahadev, Om Namah
Har Har
Shivaya.
Mahadev. Yeah. Om
Today's
Namah
Monday.
Shivaya.
So, yeah. So, as I was listening to your program, I was thinking of few points. The first of that is that I think there was some regulation in the month of February this year, where I think there were two ministers, Javadekar and Ravi Shankar
Yes.
Prasad, if I am not wrong.
Yeah.
And they said that the content would be monitored,
Yeah.
which means that the INB ministry is aware of the damage that this OTT content is doing to the people.
Yes. Yes.
Because unless we are aware of something wrong, only then we can rectify it.
Yeah,
First is to acknowledge that something is wrong.
Yes.
So the government has at least acknowledged that something is wrong by bringing these laws.
A little too
I mean,
late.
let's let's do reverse engineering,
Okay.
and we go back and think that even the government feels there's something wrong and it needs monitoring. So that's a step in the right
Absolutely.
direction. Okay. Now the point comes that they have brought some laws. Now my question is, do the laws have teeth? Or are they just like what one advocate was saying, they are paperless, toothless?
Toothless tiger.
Yeah.
That
So
stayed
if they
with
are
me.
toothless, no, then we have to give that tiger some teeth. If
Yeah.
it's a toothless tiger, the government needs to give it some teeth so that it can actually act. I mean, I'm just sharing my thoughts with the people. I think many will agree with me that if that law needs to be strengthened and made stronger, and the punishment meted out should be more firm and more deterring, so that people don't come forth with this kind of content.
Yeah.
So I think it's sad that the current minister is not looking in that direction. He should. Instead we are seeing
KB,
He should,
that's
though.
because he's busy posing with people like Sonu Sood and Akshay Kumar.
Yeah. So my thing to the the person who allocates the portfolio, that is our PM Modi ji. Then my request to him would be that he should give this portfolio to somebody who is not in awe of the Bollywood industry. He should give it to somebody who is more into law and order and who is understanding that the future generation. I think Modi ji is very well aware that hamari jo yuva hai, our children are the future generation and citizen of our country. And if we, they say you should nip it in the bud. So now the budding children, they'll be the citizens of tomorrow. And if we give them this kind of corrupt content to watch, then we will have a corrupt generation. So that India cannot afford to have a corrupt generation. So I think our Prime Minister should look into it. We have very good stalwarts. We have people like Rajnath Singh ji. We have people like Amit Shah ji who are very much into principles, and they understand that what our next generation should be. The patriotic and the true values. So I think and OTT is one platform where these things are conveyed and to the masses. It is built into the minds. So the seeds should be good.
Yeah. Yes. In fact, KB, look at this comment by Sunanda Behra. Very nice one. She's saying, last year too, everyone were like SSR died due to suicide. It was only when people doubted and stood up to expose the truth did the SSR justice movement start. So I believe, Meena ma'am, your step is right. Yes, thank you, Sunanda, and that's a brilliant comment because that shows how intelligently, all of you are thinking. So I think it's very important to be, not only, watch things, but also use your intelligence and see where something is wrong.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dhruva,
Then one of
like
your viewers.
maybe.
Sorry, shall I just complete
Please,
one and then
please,
move out?
maybe. Yeah, please.
This is regarding your viewer Pooja. I appreciate what she has observed about that injection in the feet.
Yes. Yeah.
And immediately I was correlating with the post at the Cooper's or wherever the morgue where Sushant's body was kept. The person who came on interview on Republic did say about needle marks under the feet, soles of the feet of Sushant.
So
Later
here,
on, that witness got disappeared. I don't know, but I have watched that Republic TV interview several times, and that boy has categorically said that under the soles of the feet there were many injection marks. So could it be? I mean, does the two have a connect? Could it be that he was also in a cardiac arrest was triggered, which did not happen? So they had to go for some
because
alternative way.
cardiac arrest can be induced, right? So it could have been, it doesn't
They may
have
have
to be a
tried
health
that,
issue.
and since he was physically fit, it did not work. So they had to try other
Absolutely.
means. That's what I have to say, ma'am. You can take the next panel.
No, KB, please remain. Anuradha, Anuradha says, a very nice comment from Anuradha Singh Sheoran. A few questions point. Why Cooper, after knowing its history, why the car glass was broken the same night, why the family note makes me feel they have been silenced, Trimukhe 75, why people are silenced. It's all, see, all these questions are so relevant. What she's asked is so relevant, friends. Don't you think so?
Absolutely.
Yes. Gunjan, would you like to talk?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes. KB, please.
Okay, KB.
Yeah. KB?
Yeah. So this was one thing. So as I was telling you that we have to improve the content. And another thing is there that why the people who are giving out this thing on the platter on the OTT, why no action is being taken against them? I think government should look into this. We should have someone who will implement the laws. The laws are not just for the books.
Yeah. Okay.
Unless
Dhruva,
these are implemented. Please
Dhruva,
get
would you
to
like to join? Yes.
Yes, Meena ma'am. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, everyone.
Good
Kefi
evening.
ma'am, Jen,
Good evening.
Jaidev sir, and Monica ji. First of all,
Good
Meena
evening.
ma'am, one thing I would like to salute you once again for the kind of topics you are picking. And the second most important thing, what comes into the context over here is that when cinema halls are not functioning, when there is no proper source of entertainment for people, see, we have boycotted Bollywood. But on the web, there are some awesome web series which are actually showing us the history of our country as well. See, keeping everything aside, keeping all these fiasco aside for a couple of minutes, if we watch the web series which is run by the Discovery Now, wherein they are going back to the civilizations, they are taking up Telgi.
Yes.
It's frozen.
Yeah.
I think we need to remove him and he can join back.
I'll just remove him and then. KB, could you also speak a little in Hindi as well?
Yes. No, as I was, मैं जिस तरह कह रही थी कि हमारे देश के नेताओं को पता है कि OTT में मतलब गलत चीजें दिखाई जा रही हैं. उनका इसीलिए तो ये कानून लाया गया था. अगर गलत नहीं था तो कानून नहीं लाया जाता. तो मुझे लगता है कि सरकार को ये पता है कि हमारी जो नई युवा पीढ़ी है उसको ये जो गंदे सीरियल्स हैं, जो गंदी चीजें परोसी जा रही हैं, उसमें हमारे बच्चों का भविष्य खराब हो सकता है. इसीलिए ये लॉज लाए गए थे, ये कानून लाए गए थे. लेकिन ये दुख की बात है कि इन कानूनों को इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं किया जा रहा है, उनको मतलब उस तरह से लगाया नहीं जा रहा है, लागू नहीं किया जा रहा है. तो मुझे लगता है सरकार को इस तरफ भी थोड़ा ध्यान देना चाहिए.
और ये क्या होता है
हमारे
ऑल्सो केबी, ऐसा लगता है कि पॉलिटिशियंस इतने क्लोज हैं इन लोगों से कि उन लोगों के लिए बहुत बहुत कुछ करते हैं, सोचते नहीं कि पब्लिक को क्या चाहिए। ये लोग सिर्फ सोचते हैं इनके कनेक्शंस के कनेक्शन से, दे डोंट
नहीं
लुक एट व्हाट द पब्लिक वांट्स, यू सी।
ये बात सही है, लेकिन मेरा जहां तक मानना है कि जब तक सुशांत की हत्या नहीं हुई थी तब तक हम लोगों के ऊपर एक चमक धमक का पर्दा था। हम लोग सोचते थे ये लोग हम लोग से बहुत ऊंचे हैं।
Yes.
लेकिन जब ये सुशांत का जो बात हुई और हम लोगों के बात सामने इतनी सारी बातें आई तो हमें पता चला कि एक्चुअली ये लोग कोई खास नहीं है, रादर ये लोग तो बहुत ही गंदे लोग हैं। आई
Yes.
थिंक हम लोग मिडिल क्लास लोग बहुत ही अच्छे हैं इनके तुलना में। इन लोगों
हाँ.
को मतलब ये लोग तारीफ के तो लायक हैं ही नहीं।
हाँ.
और एक बात है, मैं ये कहना चाहूंगी कि प्रधानमंत्री जी को इस तरह का कोई मंत्री रखना चाहिए जो इनकी चकाचौंध दुनिया से मतलब अंधा नहीं है, जिसको समझ में आता है कि फिल्म भी एक इंडस्ट्री है और उनको उनकी सीमा में रखना चाहिए। उनके मतलब उनके ऊपर लोटपोट नहीं हो जाना चाहिए। ये मेरा मानना है। और एक चीज है, मैं कहना चाहती थी, मुझे एक किसी ने कहा था कि अरे यहाँ तो केसें चलती हैं 20 साल 25 साल। मैं सोच रही थी, मैंने अपनी जिंदगी में किसी प्रधानमंत्री को पार्लियामेंट की सीढ़ियों को चूमते हुए नहीं देखा है। तो हमारे जो प्रधानमंत्री है वो नए भारत की नींव रखी है उन्होंने। राम मंदिर का मसला उन्होंने सलटा दिया, 370 का मसला उन्होंने सलटा दिया। तो मुझे लगता है कि इस दिशा में भी अगर हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी ध्यान देंगे तो वो ये काम भी कर सकते हैं। मुझे पूरा विश्वास है, हमारे नेताओं पे पूरा विश्वास है। आप थोड़ा इस तरफ ध्यान दीजिए, हमारी युवा पीढ़ी खराब ना हो जाए, बिगड़ ना जाए, ज्यादा देर ना हो जाए, इसके पहले आपसे ये विनती है कि ये OTT प्लेटफॉर्म पे जो कंट्रोल्स हैं उनको स्ट्रिक्टर कीजिए, ताकि हमारी युवा पीढ़ी पढ़ाई लिखाई पे, आपने जैसे अभी ओलंपिक्स में जो लोग गए, आपने उनको कितना एनकरेज किया। आपने तो उनसे नहीं कहा अच्छा जा रहे हो, जाओ देखो मेडल मिलता है कि नहीं, नहीं आपने इस तरह नहीं कहा। आपने उनको एनकरेज किया, उनको प्रेरणा दी। इसी तरह आपको अभी की जो युवा पीढ़ी है उनको प्रेरणा देनी चाहिए कि बच्चों अभी तुम लोगों की पढ़ाई लिखाई का टाइम है, आप लोग स्पोर्ट्स में ध्यान दीजिए, आप लोग जिस चीज में अपना नेशन बिल्ड हो सकता है उस तरफ आप ध्यान दीजिए। ये सब चीजों के लिए आपका जीवन व्यर्थ मत नुकसान कीजिए।
Yes. Also, KB, you're very right. Many of the people feel that you can easily become a BJP politician as well.
No, I have no interest. नहीं, मैं कलकत्ता में हूँ, मैं मोदी जी की बहुत बड़ी समर्थक हूँ, लेकिन मुझे कोई पॉलिटिक्स की इंटरेस्ट नहीं है। मैं मोदी जी को सपोर्ट करती हूँ, क्यों उन्होंने इतने सारे, वो अपने जनता का दर्द समझते हैं। जो हमारी देश की महिलाएं सुबह से लकड़ी जमा करने जाती थी, उन्होंने ईंधन दे के उनका जीवन इतना आसान कर दिया। अरे वो रिक्शा वाला और जो मोची है उसका भी बैंक का खाता खुल गया। हमने सोचा था 10 साल पहले कि ये संभव है, तो उन्होंने असंभव चीज को संभव कर दिखाया है। इसलिए मैं उनको बहुत सम्मान करती हूँ और मैं उनसे यही उम्मीद करती हूँ कि इस दिशा में भी OTT प्लेटफॉर्म की तरफ भी उनको थोड़ा ध्यान देना चाहिए कि जो इसके माध्यम से जो इंफॉर्मेशन जा रहा है पब्लिक को, बहुत सारे लोग इससे प्रभावित होते हैं, तो उनको अच्छी चीज से प्रभावित किया जाए, ना कि गंदी चीज से। आप अगर ये तांडव सीरियल देखिए और ये सब गंदे जो चीजें पड़ोसी जा रही है, हमारे धर्म को लेके खिल्ली उड़ाई जा रही है, ऐसा क्यों? हम तो किसी के धर्म को खिल्ली नहीं उठाते हैं।
Also, KB, see, one thing very important that all these people are doing, everybody from the Bhatts, which is Mahesh Bhatt, Pooja Bhatt and all, what they're doing is, they are trying to take taboo subjects, okay, which may be very common in the West, okay, like, gay relationships or lesbian relationships, and trying to push it into our society and saying that it is normal, okay. Now, this may be happening everywhere. We are not saying that it doesn't happen, and it's not that we disapprove anything, no. But when you say that, you tell vulnerable young children, this is okay, that's when parents say, no, it's not okay. You're not the one to teach children morals, okay? We have good teachers, in schools, and good parents to teach them that. We don't need you, the depraved souls of Bollywood to teach them what is right and what is wrong,
Yes,
So,
sometimes old is gold. So
yes,
our cultural heritage that we have,
yes,
that is invaluable. Even the Western people try to imitate that because
yes,
it is so good.
yeah,
So I think we should hold on to that, and we should in fact encourage and promote that, the family relations, instead of the decadence that they are trying to instill into our youth,
ah,
that should stop. We have to try
okay,
every effort to stop this.
yeah.
In
Now they're
fact, now
also
the
telling,
Western world is following India, and
Yes.
unfortunately, the
yes,
Indian youth is following the
absolutely,
problems
absolutely.
that the Western
No,
Yeah.
world is
Meenaman, to add
having.
a very important point
Uh,
here.
Yes, Dhruv. Yeah,
No, I will just speak for 2 minutes and take your leave,
yeah.
Meena
Please,
ma'am. Now, to
please.
add a
Yeah,
very
please.
important point here,
Yeah,
in Dutch, that is Netherlands, Bhagavad Gita has been taught as a curriculum, like an
yes,
annual, what do you say? Bhagavad Gita has been taught in the syllabus.
yes,
And all this, see, coronavirus, whatever it has done, it showed the world one thing is that what Indians were doing was always right.
yes,
Because in India, the Sanatan Hindu Dharma, if someone had passed away, we were never allowed to enter the house with the same clothes on. We had to leave the
yes,
clothes outside, we had to take a
yes.
bath outside and then
Very,
enter the house.
very true. Very true. Yeah.
Same thing applied with the haircut and other things as well. If a
Yeah,
woman was getting into a menstrual circle, she was
yeah,
kept away from the family, but it was not explained properly. The only mistake what our ancestors did was they
yes,
gave it a different angle altogether. If they had
yes.
explained the science behind it, be it the
Ah,
cow dung, be it the rangoli, be it
yeah.
anything,
Yeah.
Yes, Shashi, can you join us, Shashi?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat to
Yeah,
everyone.
welcome. Welcome, Shashi.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, continuing with what Dhruvaji was saying, I think Dhruvaji, we can't hear you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's a reason why the cow is worshipped in
No, can
India.
you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I'm sorry.
Yeah, Dhruv.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, yeah, we
Please, I'll
can.
just give
Yeah,
a minute to Shashi and then we'll come back to
Ma'am,
you.
I'll
yeah, yeah.
make one
So yeah,
last point and leave.
Okay.
okay, sure.
Yes, Dhruv.
Ma'am, the only point
You're
that I
not.
wanted to make was that when the English came to
Yeah.
India, they started telling us
Yeah.
that we were washing our teeth with charcoal. They started start using Colgate. Charcoal is bad for your teeth.
Yeah.
Now, 200 years later,
Yeah.
today, the Colgate is coming with charcoal. Colgate is coming with salt and neem. So it is we
Yeah.
who distance ourselves from our religion with the
Yes.
propaganda. That is
Also,
what people have to
remember,
realize.
yeah, also remember, Dhruv. See, we were told that coconut oil is not good, ghee is not good. Okay. Now we are using all that because that is what our ancestors taught us was healthy for us. So whatever we have learned from West, we are now unlearning it.
Yes, that is
It's
a
like the wheel
continuous
going
process,
back
ma'am.
round.
Yeah. Yes, KB?
It's like the wheel has gone round.
Yeah,
We have gone
absolutely.
back a full circle.
Yes, yes. Shashi?
Yes,
Yeah,
Meena
so
ma'am,
continuing
I
with
will
what
thank you a lot for giving me an opportunity. I'll take your leave now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you,
Welcome.
Dhruv.
Bye bye, Dhruv.
So there's a
Yes,
reason why the cow is worshipped in India because in olden times that was the only animal which could actually feed a whole family.
Yeah, yeah.
Going by in terms of milk, or it could be in terms of plowing the field and
Yeah.
all that. That is the reason why. So that is one thing, and of course, yeah, another valid point which Dhruvaji said was about Indians tackling the corona waves and all that. That's because our diet itself is like that. Okay, means
Yes.
whatever dal chawal which we have, that itself builds so much of antibodies into within which because of which we are able to sustain. Means the mortality, yeah, was not so this one. So that is
Yes.
the reason why, yeah. So coming to the main topic on the OTT as such, yeah,
Yeah.
this I think where we are losing out is okay. There's no censorship as such. So that is a place where I think we need to focus on.
Yes.
And one more thing which I think Meenaji was pointing out about, yeah, all Bollywood and then they get high profile contracts and all that. The
Yes.
fear of law is not there in India for this high profile people. That is one
Yes.
thing which is a must. So
Yes.
today, I have heard that okay, in other countries like Singapore, you cannot even sneeze in public. You cannot even throw a piece of paper on the road. That's because the fear of law is so high there.
Yes.
So that is why will automatically follow that.
Yeah.
And similarly, I have seen that okay, Indians if they travel abroad, they will try to follow the rules as much as much as possible. while they are there. So I don't know why they don't want to do that. So why we have to. So that fear of law is something which is totally missing, is what I see.
Yeah, that's what
So
yesterday I said. When you have that chalta hai attitude,
yeah,
nothing
yeah,
really works.
yeah. And means one classic example which I saw was Paramveer Singh paying a fine of 50,000 rupees, not
Yeah,
for not.
exactly.
So yeah, means for him 50,000 is like peanuts actually.
Yes, yes,
He will easily pay that, and yeah, because he knows that okay, yeah, there's nothing else which has to be done. Yeah, he will easily pay, and he will not even go to the summons and all that.
yeah,
So that is the one thing which I think Modi, and it's not just Modi but Home Minister and all the other agencies also should be focusing on.
yes,
Because see,
yes,
today means where are we when we come to Sushant Singh Rajput's case? Most of the people whom we know should be behind bars at least by now. They are
yeah,
going around freely, and so that is what that is something which is yeah. And the judicial system, I think, needs a major overhaul because yeah, cases pending for 8 years, 10 years. I mean, people like Rabia Ji, I don't know. She has that found that strength, but I don't know how many people will find that strength in India.
yes,
Many of
yes.
them will even give up.
Mm.
So then, what is the point in having a justice system? And if common people are only involved, yeah, then they will somehow find to try to close the case as soon as possible. But when it comes to high profile, who do contribute majorly to the crime rate in the
Yeah,
country,
yeah,
that should be tackled faster, actually.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
So
that's
there's a very
that.
interesting point from Prashant Verma. He says,
Mhm.
Atira, a point of view is to control our children from getting addicted to OTT platform. So this is very important. See, along with the number of jobs that parents have, they juggle with so many things. Now, this is another burden that has been put on parents. Especially
Mhm.
parents who are away from their, what you call families. They don't have support, so they have to do a million things, and on top of that is this OTT platforms. So it's such a headache for especially mothers.
See, in the past, yeah, means there were before television also came for family to go and watch a movie together. That itself was like an event.
Yes,
Today, after that, yeah, means the TV also came, and then people didn't have to go out, but at least they used to sit together and watch movies on television. At least that way, some kind of a regulation was there by the parents. But
yeah,
today, every kid has a walking theater in his hands,
yeah,
in his mobile and all that. So he can easily go to YouTube and he can easily download movies and all that. So
yeah.
that has become so. The click of a button, he's getting everything, which is not ideal at all.
See
So at
here,
least, yeah,
Taksu Academy is saying Netflix
yeah.
has some amazing Japanese dramas. Watch Midnight Diner, He Who Can't Marry, Kotaro Lives Alone. Now, Taksu, these may be very good movies, but let me tell you something. When you first surf Netflix and you go on to the search button, the first movies that are being pushed is 365. Okay, those are the kind hot girls. Okay, red light areas. These are the things that are being promoted, not Japanese movies. So we are not saying there will be good movies. 20% of the content will have good movies, and like the ones that you suggested. But the moment you go to Netflix, that's not what you see. The suggestions that Netflix gives are always the worst kind.
That's the
Yeah,
thing.
Monica, you wanted to say something? Yeah.
Yeah, like what you were saying, right? And it's also the promos and everything. And I think also like they promote a lot of sex. Like they should really stop it, Like the youth are actually taking that in
Yeah.
and following it. And it worries me. Like I have like two kids and I'm just thinking about them. I'm like, oh my God, are they going to grow up and watch all this crap? Like
Yeah.
just stop it. They have to know like, okay, what I'm putting there is going into young minds,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
it's not it's not fun and games, you
Yeah.
know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
it's
Gunjan, you're
worrying.
back. So
Yeah,
let us. Yeah.
I have issues with when I log in from my phone, so
Yeah.
I came
Please.
from
Yeah.
the laptop.
Yeah.
So I was just saying that how the society has actually polluted our minds,
Yes.
and I guess things have worsened for the future generation because
Yes.
in our times there's still a decent amount of movies we have seen, but now we see these PUBG and all these kind of violent movies and the
Yes.
song. I remember I used to teach preschool kids, and a child coming up to me and saying, "Ma'am, chalti hai kya 9 se 12?" These kind, and the child doesn't even know what that means.
Yeah.
And there are things that children come at 11 o'clock, 9:30 का school start हो रहा है, because parents are pubbing and disco and all those things, kind of things. These
Yeah.
are something that I feel have
See, another
polluted.
thing, yeah, Gunjan, see, another thing I wanted to tell you. See, I was just watching, just sometimes I randomly check the, Netflix or, the other OTT platforms. And there was this series in which the Swara Bhaskar acts, okay? And she's a teacher in a school. And every time, you see her in flimsy saris, the pallu falling and children getting, enticed. Is this what you're trying to tell your children? That do not respect your teachers? Okay, you see her as a sex object? I mean, is this the message that you're giving? So it's very
So
sad.
it's really important to dress very decently in front of the kids. Elder kids, yes. Even with the preschool kids, you have to be very careful how you are dressed. You have to not wear revealing clothes. And like I feel that that movie of Shah Rukh Khan, that in which that pallu suddenly comes out, the
Yes.
way they portray a female, a teacher or anyone, it's like she's objectified. And the way item songs are done, it's like a man, he's working the entire day, and he's like, he wants to see Shilpa Shetty in his wife. And like, it's so easy to woo someone, that how much problems you have in life, if he has to portray that, okay, she's working the entire day, but at the end of the day she has to look like, oh, she's the sexy babe kind of a thing. Like, she's been
Yeah.
utensil, teaching kids, going around shopping, and she's so dead tired. And in the night, you wanted to look like Shilpa Shetty and do thumkas. Like the way females are
you know
objectified.
in fact, Gunjan, I want to make a small joke here, because you mentioned Shilpa Shetty. Okay, now there was a recent small bit of news where Shilpa Shetty got trolled because she was laughing too much and dancing too much in her shows, perhaps to make up
She must be
for
high
her
on drugs.
husband's to make up for her husband's
Yeah.
mistakes.
Seriously.
Yeah, KB.
No, I said she must have been high on something, maybe some
Mal.
oil.
Mal.
Mal, yes.
Yeah.
No, but what as Gunjan was saying about, what they do is they objectify the female body, which
Yes.
is very bad. Even whether it is in advertisements or whether it is in such kind of movies, they I mean, I think the women's cell should look into this. A women's welfare or HR cell
Yes.
which looks into these things should
Yes.
look in should stop such kind of advertisements and movies where a woman is treated as an object. Today, women are in every field. See,
Yeah.
our Prime Minister has made so many of these female judges, Supreme Court
Yes.
judges we'll be having. So
Yes.
that is the level to which the ladies of our country have reached.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
don't. So my message is that please stop objectifying women. Women are equally capable, equally intelligent,
Yeah.
and
But
we can contribute well to the nation.
KB, on a lighter note, there is
Yeah.
one particular political figure in Kerala, okay,
Yeah.
whose wife, was murdered or killed recently,
Yes,
okay,
yes.
and he, whenever he sees a woman, he doesn't look in her eyes. He looks at the assets. So
Okay.
there
Oh,
are
there are many
I
such
want-
corrupt Indians. I've
Yeah.
been there. I've seen that. So
Yeah.
There
So-
we have to just.
and
Yeah,
he's
sorry?
supposed to be an intellectual.
Yeah.
No, there is
Yeah.
one joke. You know what? This Badmash Company का एक movie आती थी. So I always crack this joke because in that that person is looking at her the boobs. I'm sorry, I don't have another word. But like, he's looking at her. आप कहाँ जा रहे हैं? And she's like, ये बात नहीं करते. So every time a female is like, where your eyes go, the female knows, and it is a lot to do with how a female is objectified. You will never
Yes.
have an item song of a man. You will not
Absolutely.
see him strip
Exactly.
on a
And
movie. Why
Gunjan,
female?
do you remember a couple of years back, our Hindi films, they were actually selling these stories like the girl, she got raped or molested by this guy, and then she falls in love. She falls
Yeah.
in love with that same guy, and I'm like,
Yeah,
how?
exactly.
What are you trying to say? How
Yeah.
can
Obviously, yeah,
he
there
was
was a rape case happened. You
chasing
know, the
her?
rape. She said that the rapist will be he'll not be able to say anything if he
Yeah,
marries her.
because
Like
उसने
if he
शादी
did
कर
that
ली
one,
ना, तो it's okay.
Yeah.
shadi,
Because
हाँ.
he married her.
It's like
What?
exactly. It's like you this is very strange thing. You rape a girl and
Are
then
you
like you just say
absolutely
Yeah,
out
okay,
of your
yeah,
mind? Like,
but
seriously.
Okay.
but
A
I don't
question
know.
by
Sorry to
a
interrupt.
question by
Sorry to
Shilpa.
interrupt.
Okay, be
Okay.
one second. A question by
Okay.
Shilpa. She's saying, Minaji, is it true that he wanted to marry Meher Tarar? Okay.
Oh my God.
okay, I got
Meher,
Sorry.
Meher, Meher was only
I
a,
don't think she was
honey trap.
interested.
Honey trap.
Yes, she would never have. Even if he had wanted to, she would have walked out on him.
Yeah, sorry, KB, you were saying
Yeah,
about the rape and the
you were talking.
molestation scene.
Yes,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
were talking about the raper
Yeah.
marrying the
Yeah,
victim. I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah.
whether you are aware. In many parts of, I think in Bengal also, but in many parts of the country, they have a khap panchayat, and in the khap panchayat, very strangely, I find that many of these panchayat people decide that the molester has to marry the victim,
Yes.
which is very strange. It has been happening,
So what
and I'm quite
is that like a
surprised.
court or what? What does it do?
Yes, it's
It's
Khap Panchayat is like
okay.
a court which is at the local level where there are the
Oh,
leaders of that, the senior citizens and the intellectuals of the
so
locality.
so they
They
compel the
are the
girl to
decision
marry
makers.
the guy?
They take a
Like if
decision. They take a
oh
like
my
it's a like a
God.
joint decision by maybe the 8 or 10 elders of that village who come together and sort of like brainstorm and decide
Yeah.
that it is in the best interest if the boy and the girl are married off, so that
Oh my
you know
God.
you know which is I find it very awkward, very weird, because when
Yes.
you have
Yeah.
violated a woman, then she
Yeah,
does not love you, she
the
hates you.
solution is to
So
get
and if
married
you
to that guy.
and if you find a solution to make her marry that
Yeah.
person, lifelong she'll be hating her husband. What
Yes.
kind of
So
Absolutely.
logic
one
is
more
that?
thing I want to
Yeah.
add to this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Gunjan?
2004 में I have been a divorcee, so I was the first person in 2004 when I raised this issue of marital rape. So there was domestic violence, there was dowry harassment. The family did not even think, like, years have passed. It was 2004 and it's 2021. Even now, rape is not marital rape. That Chhattisgarh thing is like, where are we? Where is our legal system? And the legal system is every state has different law.
Yeah.
So Kerala rape case, different verdict. Bombay rape case said molestation, this skin touch cannot happen. So this
Yeah.
Chhattisgarh thing, underage, toxic,
Yeah.
even a sex worker rape is rape. But if you do it with your wife, it is not considered as a rape.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like, where is our legal system heading to?
Going
So
to.
like,
Yes. Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Shashi, if you would like to say something.
Yeah, I agree with whatever Gunjan and Mr. KBG were saying. So I think one thing which has, at least I want to think that, okay, maybe women's liberation has kind of brought some new waves and all that. But unfortunately, I don't think the reality is very close to how it was maybe 30 or 40 years back, because
Yes.
in villages and all that, I still see women being exploited to the core, men getting married multiple times, and then the car punchers, as KBG was saying. In fact, if I remember correctly, I think they were responsible for one of the honor killings also a few years back, just
Yeah.
because the boy and the girl chose to. So, yeah, so that kind of the old beliefs and all that is still persists. So I mean, till the time I don't know how the propaganda is done that every nook and corner of the country subscribing to the same kind of laws across. I don't think we'll see much of a change, though we might sit and wonder, because even today, even in cities, I don't know how different are we, because in the
It
high
is
society
worse in
that
city,
we say,
Shashi ji. Shashi
हाँ
ji,
जी,
the urban area ना, गरीब घर की औरत ना जाके अपना ना दिखा सकती है. The worst is when these high class society में ना, that's what Sushant Singh Rajput did to at least me and many people, girls, to realize that these things that are happening to at least the urban area, because you have a Louis Vuitton bag, you can never get raped by your husband, or you can never be beaten up in your house. So it's like, how
yes,
can you be beaten up? You go to a 5-star hotel, So the more is in there, because ये जाके ये cases बाहर आते ही नहीं हैं, क्योंकि they are like high class society, these things, and these girls they eventually, I've seen there are lots of cousins of mine, eventually they had to commit suicide because they're like, I am not happy in this marriage and I have to look happy. So the more is in the high class society and the cities. The divorce happens because dowry harassment इतना ज़्यादा है, especially this urban class में. पहले ना ये ऊपर से बोलते थे जो दोगे अपनी बेटी को दोगे. So वो अभी भी चल रहा है, जो देना है बेटी को देना है. तो till the time parents से हमें बेटी को कुछ नहीं देना है, जो बेटी को लेना होगा वो खुद से ले लेगी. She is capable enough. So parents need to stop doing this कि बेटी को देना है.
Yeah,
Gunjan, isn't dowry a crime now?
Yes,
in India, that's what I
I would like to reply to that.
Dowry. The problem
it's a crime.
is, Monica, the problem is
Okay.
the parents feel that they have to. They're not giving dowry. They are trying to settle their daughter. So settling their daughter, and it's like giving a good lavish wedding. Even in Punjabi houses, if you see a girl, she doesn't wear jewelry just because she wants to wear it.
Okay.
सोसाइटी को तो पता लगना चाहिए ना हमारे पास कितनी ज्वेलरी है. So it's like
so it's that way. Okay.
Here, I'd like to make a point, Gunjan, Monica, and KB, Shashi, Jade. See, it's a very good point that Akshay makes, Akshay Kosanam. Ma'am, what about media? They are asking Neeraj Chopra, how did he manage his sex while at Olympics? He just said sorry. Same with Malishka. Now, here's another very relevant point that he's making because, see, why are they asking our athletes such questions? Okay. And this is asked by quite an elderly gentleman. Okay. He is just trying to get his 5 seconds of fame through that question. But it's the most ridiculous thing that you ask these athletes. Now, these people are coming from different parts of remote parts of India, and they are just, grooming themselves to become international athletes. So they have to go through the whole process. Now, let them go through it comfortably. What the Prime Minister is doing is very good. He's encouraging them, and he's encouraging children in school. That is the way you encourage them. It's not by asking them awkward questions which they don't need to answer. Your take on that?
And how is it relevant?
KB?
It's not
KB,
relevant.
Yeah,
It's
KB.
not
It's not relevant. Why should they? If you can help improve them in their sport, so you come forward. But at that stage, when they are focusing on their, firstly, let them enjoy the medals they have won. Let them relish in that joy. And then let them even improve on their performance so that next time they do a better performance and get more medals for India. Instead of encouraging them there, you're telling them all these things. These are all irrelevant. If we counter question you about the same topic, the person who's asking the question, should he be also questioned in a similar manner? What would his take be? You want to know that?
Yeah, exactly.
KBG, I want to point out a personal thing. I am a teacher, and over a period of time, I gained weight because of steroids and things.
Yes.
The principal is telling me my job of being a teacher has nothing to do with my physique. I'm health is perfectly fine. अगर मैं तुम्हारी माँ जैसी हूँ, अगर तुम थोड़ी और पतली हो जाओगी ना, I would have understood if my job was like an air hostess or I'm a model.
Absolutely.
Job about talking and handling children, preschool children. What is my physique to do with that? Second thing, when you're a divorcee, if you're dating a single man, Gunjan, तुम्हें experience होगा. So it is like you're trying to objectify that person and like, she's had a relationship or she's a used category. So nothing has changed me. I feel that तुम तो used हो. I respect myself. But it's that I don't see that respect coming from that other person. It can be a male or a female. So society, we can...
See, again, Gunjan,
it's the mindset, right?
Gunjan, here also, I'd like to say, Bollywood has a lot to contribute. And it's not only Bollywood, but all the film world in India. You have your zero
I have a suggestion for Gunjan. I have a... Okay. Yes, please.
So you have
I have a suggestion for Gunjan.
And some people like Karina trying to push the zero figure. Now, see, if you don't eat anything, you can always become like a skeleton. Okay, but that's not what we want for our children. Our children need healthy mothers, with healthy minds, and healthy souls. Okay, so that is what our children deserve from their parents. whether it's the father or the mother. They're not looking at their figure. They're looking at their temperament and the way they teach them, the values that parents give to them. And when you say, Gunjan, when you're saying you're a teacher, what is important is the way you teach and the kind of principles that you teach your children. Yes, KB?
Yeah, this is what I was wanting to tell Gunjan, that if you are a teacher, your role is to guide the children who are under your tutorage. It has nothing to do with your physical appearance. Whether you are 10 pounds more or less, it doesn't matter. So long as you are instilling them the good values. Even on Teachers' Day, I called up my teacher of 50 years ago, and she was so thrilled. And I said, Miss, I'm so grateful to you. Today, whatever I am is thanks to you. So this kind of values have to be instilled in the children. It doesn't matter about your appearance. This is one. Second thing, I would like a small piece of advice, which I have always followed, is that I always keep my personal life and my professional life in two separate compartments.
Yeah.
My professional colleagues have no right to talk about my appearance. And when they tell me somebody, in India, particularly in Calcutta, I don't know whether it's all over India, when people meet you, they say, "Arey moti ho gayi hai," or they say, "Arey dubli lag rahi hai." So this is one habit with people.
KBG, I will give you an example. March 2020, I was removed from my job. You know the reason why I was removed? Because I was a person who used to just focus on the kids. I had everything 100 on 100. The drivers say that Gunjan ma'am bade tameez se baat karti hain. I was good with the mates. I was good with kids. I was good with parents. But I did not have the social skills. That means I'm not the yes ma'am, no ma'am, because I used to keep my personal life separate from my job. That is why I was turned out by that cabal of these teachers, so-called nepotistic people. And they say karma.
Professional rivalry.
The karma pays
That is
back.
professional rivalry.
Exactly. And within 2 weeks, there was COVID, and all those who had actually done this, they had to lose their job.
Karma.
Oh, Gunjan, you are very strong.
Yeah.
I was really hurt because there were 10 teachers.
Absolutely.
Out of 9 were not good, but one who I treated like a sister. I used to come and confide in her. She also said, no, Gunjan doesn't have that social skills. Okay, like I don't butter you. I don't talk ill about my family. And I don't have anything to
You should have
gossip
asked her
about.
what kind of social skills. I mean, I don't like to bitch about anyone,
Talking
so
about your mother-in-law,
I don't have your
mother-in-law,
social
sister-in-law,
skills.
mother-in-law, sister-in-law, bitching about the colleagues. I don't do that. So that is
Yeah.
something I don't have.
What rubbish.
Look, but do you believe in destiny? Gunjan, do you believe in destiny?
I don't know.
Because I think you were destined for better things. If you have moved out of that job, think of it in a positive way. And now there are so many online options. Online teaching has opened. So you can always look at those options. Never let such things pull you down.
That time it really affected me because everybody was losing jobs. So I feel that good that happened to me. So that point आपको बुरा लगता है, but then over a period, oh good, that person, like my ex, I thank him right now. I said, wherever you are, so good you did that to me. Maybe I am not that slim. That
Jaidev, I think you also have some experience in that. What she said.
Have faith. जो होता है अच्छे के लिए होता है.
And what does your weight have to do with your job? I mean, you
know,
teach, right? You're not there to be on a runway or.
When you're in a competitive environment,
What's the
everybody
connection?
tries to pull you
I
down.
don't see.
Yeah, it happens
Yes,
in
Jaidev, please
professions
tell.
where there's a lot of competition, and if you're very good, especially you'll have a lot of office politics, and if you don't have a good relationship with your boss, then it's highly likely that you'll be kicked out.
No, my boss wasn't happy with me. These teachers were not happy with me. So
Just last week, I had a disagreement with my editor.
Sometimes the peer pressure, it's the peers who are jealous. Your boss may not be unhappy with you, but the peers.
Hard-working people, I always give the comparison of two ants. One ant is just moving, hard work करके वो ऊपर चढ़े जा रही है. The second one thing, either I can do hard work like her, that's not my cup of tea. Let me pull her down. So majority of people will try and pull us down. That's happening in Sushant Singh movement also. There was such a nice protest we did. Everybody should have come united. No. I will not go to that channel. Okay, that is the thing.
And then
just
you're
one
scared, like, should I go? Like, what if they judge me?
Funny thing, Monica and Gunjan and KB and Shashi. See, you can go to any channel and you can, whatever is interesting for you, you take.
Yeah.
Okay, what you don't want, throw it away. It's up to you.
Exactly.
You don't need to be loyal.
Why is that like
to
a
any channel.
loyalty test? Like, oh, you're
I
from
said, I
that
have
channel,
been one
you're from
employer,
Meena Mem's
that is
channel.
Sushant Singh Rajput. I have been employed by Sushant Singh Rajput. I will go to any channel wherever I hear good things.
Exactly.
I don't.
In fact, what I
when
like about this channel is that Meena Mem never stops us from going anywhere.
But
She's like,
actually,
go everywhere.
No, I was honored. Yeah, I thought like, nahi, Deepti ji and Rabia ji.
No,
will
because
be
I
here
know.
and-
See, for example, Shashi also goes to many channels, and I find that Shashi speaks very well. And
Yes.
whenever he comes, I'm very happy because he talks very, intelligently and to the point. So yeah,
Thanks
so
for
these are
that,
things
yeah.
I like. Yeah, very, we enjoy your.
All of you only, so not that okay, it's my
Yes.
talent or whatever, but yeah. Just one point which I would like to add before I close, and I think this one thing where I think we were definitely missing was okay, we did not have a leader who had that spiritual quotient, as I call it. Like in the past, see, even if you look at the Ramayana, Ravana was shown to be a very evil king and all that, but even he was a devotee of Lord Shiva.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
that is, but in today's time, where do we find such leaders? So I think that is one good sign after Modi ji.
Here, let me tell you something, Shashi. See, when Rama killed, Lord Rama killed Ravana, okay, and
Yeah,
Lakshmana was rejoicing,
Very
so he
much.
told Lakshmana, don't rejoice, okay. What you need to do is fall at the feet of Lord Ravana. You know that
Yes.
he was one of the best administrative kings who looked after his country so well. And these are things you need to also learn. See,
Very
and
much.
and it is only what you call his fate, his destiny, that he has to be killed by me, so that he gets moksha,
Very
delivered.
much, yeah.
Yeah. So see, look at our Sanatana Dharma. See how well
Yes.
it is interpreted. The
Exactly.
guru, the Shishya role.
Exactly. So that is where I think, yeah, that is one good thing about Modi ji's government, I would say. And I think in the succession planning also, if we see Amit Shah, and then maybe we have Yogi also lined up actually. Because I think Modi ji wants to take this country, but yeah, with a mix of the spiritualism as such. So that all of these problems that we are seeing today are not there, maybe if not in our generation, maybe I don't know, future generations. But yeah, I think he wants to take India because in those days India was like it was one of the developed countries in Treta Yuga. Yeah, so that way I think his vision is.
Yes.
So with that, I would like to take your leave, Meena ma'am, and
Thank you, Shashi.
Yes.
Thank
Sashi ji, 1 second. 1 second, Sashi ji, before you go, there is one
Yep.
point that you talked about where I wanted to give you an answer. So before you
Please.
leave, I just like to address that. That is, you were telling that even if we talk on these platforms, nothing is going to come of it. I wanted to say this, that the more voices will open up on this, there
Yes.
has to be an awakening. We have to first realize that what is wrong. Only then we can address and rectify
Okay,
it.
here, KB and Shashi, I want to tell you something. See the public protest that we had virtually.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
What Jaydev has done, Jaydev has edited it, okay, and he's putting it on 2 drives and giving one to the Prime Minister, okay, with all your comments, and one to the Supreme Court, okay,
Yes,
to the
yes.
judge.
Very good.
Okay.
And
So
yeah,
do not
I
think-
should, I should thank you for that session, because I think I think I had lost that capability to be moved to tears, but I think I regained that, and I'm really thankful to you, Meena, because
Thank you.
that day when I watched Rabia ji, I was like, I couldn't, I could not even think anything
Very
else.
upsetting. Yeah, very upsetting.
Yes, I could feel that pain actually within me. So yeah, so that's about. Thank you, KBG. Thanks
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank
And
you.
good night.
Thank you,
you.
Shashi ji.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Good night.
Good night.
Right.
Yeah. So Gunjan, back to you.
So I have a great bond with Rabia Ma. So because like I don't know Meena ji, I have shared my story. So I was married and I was drugged, and that's why Sushant and I can and I on the first night only I was 23. So there was lots of dowry thing and. मे बी एहसान जताया गया कि अरे हमने तुमसे शादी करके ना तुम पे एहसान किया बिकॉज द वे दे वांटेड द मैरिज इट वाज कोक्स्ड कि करना पड़ेगा So initially, when Jia Khan's case happened, I was not too much into sync. But after Sushant's case, I kind of realized that what that letter came in front, it was
Yeah.
something similar to a suicide note. I had signed a blank paper like
Yeah.
a stupid person. So that was portrayed as a suicide note.
Okay.
Oh
Like,
God.
so that's why I connect with Jia Khan, and I have
Yeah.
been fighting for Jia Khan, and that's why I keep on telling Rabia, Ma, because 8 months my mom was not allowed to meet me, and
Okay.
I was beaten up, and I've seen all those things. So
Yeah.
I feel that I am alive. So that is my reason to fight for Jia Khan, because I could
Absolutely.
have been where Jia is, maybe not that huge. So that was I felt that everything is happening. Maybe उनका बहुत बड़े level पे होता है, हमारा छोटे level पे हो गया. So I feel that that's how the society is getting affected. These people
Yes.
in the Bollywood get influence in this middle class family. Oh, that suicide note was signed, I can get this done. Before even you got married, you have done a base for either a divorce or eliminating that girl. So
Yeah.
that's why I always used to it really hurt me to
Yeah.
see her
Yeah.
cry, because she also knows I call her ma, because
Yeah.
I feel that my mom could have been
Yeah.
there.
Exactly.
And so she's a very brave person, and
Yeah.
it
And an
really,
important point that I just wanted to say, Shilpa has just made a very important point. Shilpa Mudeshwar is saying
yes.
there are signs of progress. Pitani has given some leads, so which is very good. I mean,
Very good.
Shilpa, you could also tell us more if you have that link with you. If you can give us a few more, details if you have that.
If she can join like
Yeah,
Yeah,
any
she
of you
can.
can join.
Yeah.
I'll just give you the link. Yeah. So
Shukla.
yeah, yeah.
and even the
That's
Shukla
good.
thing now, there are two, three things I found strange. One, there's a blue guy, blue
Yeah.
t-shirt guy. Suddenly he sees the camera, and I had shared it on my Twitter also.
Huh.
Suddenly he starts running.
Huh.
There's one man with a black kind of a bandana all over her, all over from nose till neck. Why is he wearing that? It's such hot,
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And they said
and
that
the
it is the
long
mother,
body.
the
There's a
mother. And
long
I didn't
body.
think it was the mother.
No, it is not the mother. It's a man. I don't know who he is.
It's a
Huh.
guy, I think.
He is
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
guy with the specs,
Huh.
and everybody's so feared. There's a long body, and the day the body was coming out of from after the postmortem, everybody was covering that body. कि कहीं से glimpse ना आ जाए.
Can you,
Huh.
Gunjan, send us the link, please?
I'll definitely. Should I WhatsApp it to you? Should I tag
Yes,
you?
yes, please. Yeah,
I'll tag
WhatsApp to me later. Yes.
I'll tag you in that post,
Yeah,
and that's
absolutely.
why I put the screenshot. And Meena ji, to your surprise, people actually told me, Gunjan, don't post it on your Twitter,
Huh.
because Shidna's fans will not like it. I said,
Yeah.
excuse me,
Huh.
if there is a one person of also doubt,
Yeah.
why will I not? Okay, let's do it on DM. I said,
Yes.
excuse me, some person was. He did not die or die in a private place. He खुले
Yeah.
आम अगर one person भी doubt है, as an SSRian, you don't
Yeah.
need to tell me I have to. Okay, maybe I can be wrong. Let
Yeah.
me have my share of doubts. Why would
Hmm.
he okay? And even the doctor say नहीं नहीं आपको पता नहीं है बॉलीवुड में बहुत स्ट्रेस होता है उनको हार्ट अटैक आता है मतलब पहला हार्ट अटैक आया किसी ने इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं दिया सेकंड हार्ट में मतलब a person who goes to gym there's so many doubtful things that are happening why covering the body kal even that I'm going to tag you in all those things, Meena ji, because कल ट्विटर पे किसी ने शेयर किया था a small glimpse of कूपर हॉस्पिटल की एक इमेज भी रिलीज हुई है सो ये स्मॉल
Huh.
स्मॉल थिंग्स जो डाउट क्रिएट कर रहे हैं
Huh. Huh.
अगर 1% भी
Yeah.
doubt 99% okay fine he's clean there's nothing wrong happened don't count it
See.
what if 1%
Okay,
what
Gunjan.
he did to
Gunjan,
Disha
a few
Salian
questions. No, wait, a few questions, Gunjan. See, now,
yes
if there was no injury, it was a natural death. Okay, why wasn't the body shown?
yeah
Okay.
Absolutely.
Second thing.
Yeah.
Second thing is
exactly
why was the body taken after 5 hours? Okay, and then
yeah
why was the body not brought back at night
hmm.
for people to pay their last respects? Okay, then
Rope
another and then another thing. You see, why were the people who were there with him at that night not questioned? Okay, why was their
yes
version not brought out by the press? Okay, then another question is why was it immediately immediately cremated. Okay,
Yeah.
what was the reason for the rush? Okay, they were
And no
saying
one
that they
was
had,
allowed to even
Cooper
see.
hospital said that they didn't have the
Yeah.
results, but they were going to store the viscera report. Okay, then suddenly Mumbai police says that it was a natural death. Okay, so where is the viscera report then? Why have you not
There's
released
a video of
True.
the postmortem.
Yes, you see. So yeah,
And
KB.
family
And why
says
it
that
went?
it's
No,
privacy.
I have few questions. Why did the body go directly from Cooper's to the cremation?
Yes.
Why
Exactly,
the Hindu
right?
rites were not allowed to be performed?
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
a leader or a public figure dies, the fans and the people are allowed to come and pay their last respects, have one last glimpse of the person. So
Yeah.
why they were not allowed? Why the
People
face
also
was
were
totally
saying you will
covered?
not
I
bring
want
the
to-
camera, just show us. They were not
No.
showing. They were like, no,
Yeah.
no, no.
Yes,
Okay.
Sambhavna said and her husband went there, and the way they attacked her husband. Why did they attack? That means there is something inside that you did not want Sambhavna's husband to see.
Yeah.
So these are
Yes.
so many doubtful things. Why would you?
Yes. What are you all hiding? What are you all hiding? That is the
Yeah.
question.
Okay,
Something
the
is
best
being
hiding.
hidden.
Now, the best question is, Gunjan, KB, Monica, and Jerry. The best question is that, see, when people are questioning, why are you coming to attack them like bees?
Yes.
Okay, that very question says that, see, you have something to hide.
Hide.
Now, if you don't
Exactly.
have something to hide, okay, it's an attack, heart attack. Fine. You rest easy. Okay, let the people ask their questions. This is a democracy. Nobody can stop anybody from asking any question. It can be asked to Mumbai police. It can be asked to Cooper Hospital. It can be asked to the parents. It can be asked to the girlfriend or the boyfriend or whoever it is. Nobody can be
Yeah.
stopped.
There was a
This
lot
is
of
India.
hush hush, and
Yes.
there was such a big contingent of police for what? If it's a
Yeah.
normal death,
Yeah.
do a normal postmortem,
Yeah.
send the
And
body
why,
home.
and why was
Why
the
y'all-
police? Why was the police not allowing the cameramen to see the body?
Exactly.
And
The
the,
reporters were not allowed there. Why? Let them do their job.
I'll tell you, maybe I'll tell you a very simple thing. Okay, when Sushant Singh died, okay, the first thing that the Mumbai Congress said, okay, Mahavikas Aghadi, one of the parties, which is Congress, said is that please do not release the pictures because it will be, sad for people.
No, someone
Why?
even sent me
Why?
that. Delete all
Why?
pictures.
Because
Delete
the
all
body-
pictures.
Yes.
Why?
Because the body had so
Bless
many
that guy
injuries,
who did the
injuries,
recording,
yeah.
We
Yeah,
managed to see.
so many injuries. The leg was broken. Okay, the spine was not, whether
See?
that was also broken, we don't know. Okay, his eye was smashed.
Yes.
Everything was wrong about that body, and you didn't want us to see the pictures so that you can cover up the crime.
Yeah.
I suspect something in Siddharth's case
evident.
also is similar. Because that glass pane being smashed off the car
Yes.
makes us think there was some violence in the night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One
You know,
more
it's-
thing I wanted to bring out to your notice that yes, the ambulance was covered so decked up nicely. There was
Yeah.
a rope. The audience was told the people to us sadak ke us taraf rehna.
Yeah.
Last call was done to Karan Kundra, and they are on the Instagram are partying right now. Yesterday, Instagram pe they are enjoying themselves. After 1.5 days, Rashmi Desai gives condolences messages. Like
Yeah.
1.5 days, like you.
Yeah.
Okay, there was kind of this.
It's like an afterthought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did
Yeah.
and she's partying. She's partying with Arjun, Bijlani, and all those people.
Okay, here.
Even that
Okay, wait,
girl-
Gunjan, let me make a point here. Now, see, when just before the party, which they say happened at a woman producer's house, okay, Disha was contacted by Rashmi.
Yes.
Okay, and they had a long chat where they said that they're going to holiday together. Okay,
Right.
so Rashmi was there at that party, the same party where Disha was forced to go by her boyfriend. Okay, and something happened to Disha, okay, that night, and she was killed. Now, you mean to say Rashmi doesn't have anything to say about that? Being her best friend who goes holidaying with her, okay?
Exactly.
Now she'll say Siddharth is her best friend. She'll run after the ambulance saying Siddharth, okay? Does she not have anything to say about Siddharth? That a very healthy guy suddenly just dies?
And
of a
her
heart
name is common in both the KA cases.
Okay.
Her name has
And
come up twice.
also Monica, a very healthy man who gyms and all that, and he just suddenly dies. And then you bring a whole host of doctors to question saying that, see, nowadays all Indians are dying young. Now they come up with that theory. Suddenly they've run so what you call a survey saying that Indians are dying young of heart
They
attack.
couldn't find any other bull to feed us.
All this
Only suicide
media.
That's the last
again,
one.
Suicide, everybody dies because there is
Ah.
lockdown suicide
Oh,
happening.
come
Yes.
on.
People
That's
died of
bullshit.
Yeah.
Seriously.
No,
And
I'm
even this,
tempted to ask whether. Sorry.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I'm
This
tempted to ask about the 80-year-old people who are still continuing to live in the Bullyweed. Are they onto what, adrenochrome or what?
So I found I saw one.
They don't
in,
get heart attacks.
I saw
We
one
have
in Turkey.
the
Only the
lady.
non-star kids.
Maybe. I found one in Turkey, with
Yeah.
Katrina Kaif meeting the ministers there. One of those oldies.
Oh,
Before
Okay.
proceeding to Russia for shooting.
no, it's quite surprising that these oldies, nothing happens to them. We have the Turkey Buddhas and we have the
Yeah. He's going on. Old
Fectas.
fossil is going on.
Yeah, and we have Miss Unity's pop, and nothing happens to these people. How strange,
Yeah.
no? They continue to be.
And also, see, one thing I'm still very, I find this very strange is that the moment it's announced, even before it's announced, even before Cooper Hospital says something, all the stars have come up with, oh, short life, like a star, just gone away. They come out with the most poetic sayings, and these are the people who you doubt.
Yeah, and how come they jump to conclusions even before anything has been declared by the doctors?
Do you remember
And somebody-
Dino Morias
Yes,
angle
yes.
for SSR?
Kumar.
He did the same
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
toolkit.
He
Yeah.
did the same thing. F5 in the morning, right? And I'm like,
And one more thing I
he's
want to bring
technically
to
not gone. So who are you wishing?
No, Meena.
No, in Sushant's. Sorry,
in
Gunjan.
Rashmi's case also, Rashmi Desai says that she had a 5-minute conversation. So if you remember, there was a video that they had done for Unity Kapoor's birthday and even Rashmi Desai's brother's birthday is on 7th June. Proper dance video of Zoom is done.
Yeah.
Proper अगर वो 7 June को video बनाई गई थी, so it cannot happen in 5 minutes conversation. So
Yeah.
this Rashmi Desai goes back and even she has posted suicide narrative was set by her. Oh, after Sushant Singh Rajput left, depression people have started talking about. So she is one person who said that I had a 5-minute conversation. So when you are in that video, obviously हम normal संगीत में भी dance करते हैं. At least we have a good amount of 2 to 3 hours sessions होते हैं. How can you make that video that was circulated? There was a team of Unity Kapoor that circulated. Jevita Oberoi, there is Gurmeet Chaudhary. These names are common in both the cases.
Yes.
They are
Right.
PR properly who circulate these videos. How can Rashmi Desai give a justification that why you were in that same video? How can you say that I was there for 5 minutes and you are making a video for your brother as well as Unity Kapoor?
Exactly.
The same day Unity Kapoor is posting and Karan Johar is posting about child trafficking on about her birthday. She's not posted a single image, but
Yeah.
child trafficking के बारे में toolkit start हो गया. So these are the things that are very common and they actually think we are fools because पहले होता था हमको realize नहीं हुआ कि ये क्या चीजें हैं. But we have seen their Instagram post and like they feel that the SSRians are not watching them. So we are
Yeah,
closely
see,
watching
an interesting point
Yes.
by Rex Bailey. By the way, Siddharth Shukla was taken to Cooper Hospital in a Shiv Sena run ambulance though. Okay, that's a very interesting
Oh
observation.
my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they are
But
giving
ma'am,
this
why
reason-
Cooper Hospital? This Cooper Hospital
what's with Cooper?
functioning
You
and
know,
license needs to be looked into.
But they are giving a
if you-
reason that Cooper
KB,
They
Hospital
have
is
to be
getting passed out.
investigated.
Yeah, KB, if you ask that question, everybody will tell you the police will take it to a government-run hospital so that they don't charge any money. Now,
Yeah, but there were other hospitals close by. Why
yes, there
there?
are other
Are you sure?
hospitals, and the parents can afford it, so it's not a problem. You can be taken to the best hospital also to do it,
Yeah.
right?
When you have a health issue, you don't go for a government hospital. You go to the nearest hospital.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
If a family member is sick, we run to the closest hospital
And
for medical aid.
and AS Media is saying when you ask questions, people start
Yes.
trolling. PR is damn active.
No, the best thing is ignore the PR. Let them keep
Yeah.
trolling. So long as you keep a thick skin with
I'm
them.
the queen
That's
of all
okay.
trolls.
Yeah, yeah. This is
Trolled by
what
one and all.
what LG is saying is so true. All of them have only one sentence: "Gone too soon."
Gone too
Gone too
soon.
soon where?
No,
They've got a
I
bus
don't
or
think he's
something.
gone too soon. They've eliminated him too soon.
Yeah, yeah.
Is
They
the
finished
correct
him
answer.
off.
They've
Yeah.
speeded the journey.
Yeah, and he was unsuspecting of that. This is the saddest part.
Yes.
So, and I'm sure that lady who you talked about, Rashmi or whoever, she knows a lot. She knows a lot. If she's
Oh,
cornered and
yes.
questioned,
Even
I'm
in
sure she
Disha's
can
case,
spill a lot
yeah.
of beans.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Yeah, so that is there. And as far as the trolls are concerned, my only thing is that whoever comes on the platform and say what you feel is the right thing. Don't, because X tells me or Y tells me to go to that platform and say no. You say what your inner voice says that is the correct thing. What your
Yeah, and
conscience says is
that's
the
why,
right thing.
That's why, KB, all the more you should be on Twitter.
Yeah.
I don't like the idea of Twitter. They remove your ticks and they give you one tick and two ticks.
Don't worry about that. No. You should come, KB, because it's very important. See, voices should be heard, and that too, independent voices.
Because I am on coup because of a Republic promoted coup. I went there
to establish itself. So meanwhile, as they make the transition, try to be on Twitter. Yeah.
Okay. I will,
so ladies, that's a wonderful discussion. And thank you so much, Gunjan, KB, and Monica. Yeah. So from Jaydev and
thank you so
Thank you, Monica, KB, Gunjan.
Thank
you, Jaydev.
Pleasure being
Thank
with
you,
you
Meena
all.
ma'am.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And good night to all the candid
Good
Meena
night,
family.
everyone.
All the
Thank you
viewers.
so much. Yeah. Good night.
Bye-bye.